I think I have found the perfect study essential that you need to add to your study routine, which is Google Notebook LM, or for short, Google LM. I've been seeing this around everywhere, so I thought this was the perfect time to test out and see what I think. So let's just get straight on into today's video where I'm testing out Google Notebook LM, telling you what I think about it, using it for my summer curriculum, and just my full thoughts. So let's just get straight on into it. So I started off by just Googling Google Notebook LM, and it was literally the first thing that came up, and it kind of just shows you a little bit of the features. You can add your own sources. They can be Google Docs, they can be YouTube videos, they can be links, they can be copy text, which is really cool. Then it gives you instant insights, which kind of is like Google Gemini, and then you can like see the sources and like the information from the sources, not just like answers essentially. And you can listen and learn because they have the podcast feature and a video feature, so there's a lot. We're going to go over all of the features because I feel like there's a lot of things that you can do with this. So I started off by creating a notebook. This is what the first thing that comes up. You can have it like update you with emails. I said no. And then it has you kind of put in your sources. I decided to just mess around with it for a little bit. Analytics, I think it's so that you can like share it with other people. So you can actually share your notebook with your friends. If you're in a team, you can share it with the team. So I started off by taking the resources I found for my summer curriculum, which is one of them is for the praxis test, and just putting it into the Google Notebook LM. So I saved it to my desktop, and then from there I uploaded it. And then it just gave me like a brief summary of what it is essentially. And this one is pretty much just like practice questions for the exam, but also like the overall formatting of the exam itself. So that's really cool. So a lot of this like study guide tips are really just like sources, like how the video, like how the test is gonna be formatted. One thing that I did notice was I would ask it like, oh, kind of like if it was ChatGPT, like give me answers for this. It does not give you answers. It gives you answers based off of your source. So if it's not in your source, it's not going to give you the answer. So if you're wanting something that is essentially like a cheat sheet and not like a study guide, this probably is not it, because this is actually like, it gives you accurate, like information based off of your sources. So then you can make another notebook. I honestly don't know if there's a limit. I made like 3 different ones in this video, and I made one that's just for like learning Spanish specifically, just because I feel like we need one for like the praxis test and then one for learning Spanish. So I literally just found sources off the internet, and then I downloaded it as a PDF and then uploaded it. This is where I found like the most helpful, because it wasn't surrounding an exam, it was surrounding like actual topics and things that I need to learn. So it gives you like an overall summary essentially of what the source is. And then I hit flashcards and quizzes. You can also like ask it questions, but again, these questions are going to be specifically about the source. It's not going to give you outside information, which is honestly very nice if you're actually trying to learn your information. If you're trying to literally just copy and paste like information like ChatGPT, not actually learning the information, probably not the best thing. This actually gives you like study examples. For example, a quiz. I was so shocked how cool this quiz was, because it actually like made me think. I'm like, okay, wait, what is the answer for this? And it wasn't like it just gave you the answer, but it also tells you why you're right, and it tells you why you're wrong, which is so helpful if you're actually trying to learn this information. If you are not trying to like actually, I guess, actually absorb the information, then obviously you probably want like just to Google the answer or ChatGPT. But if you're actually trying to like understand the content that you're learning, I actually really liked the quiz aspect of it. I really liked the other thing, like other features which we'll go over. I think it's really helpful. Then I also looked through flashcards. These flashcards are amazing, and it gives you a lot. Every single time that I've made one, this one makes 75. I made another one in this video, it was like 65. So it gives you a lot of different flashcards, and they're actually helpful to learn. So you don't have to make like a Quizlet one, because this makes it. Again, this is an AI powered tool. So if you're like not for AI, this probably isn't the thing for you. But if you're okay with it and you know that like I feel like AI is just everywhere, and I felt the need to like just like see what the hype is about with this. This is honestly a great resource from what I see. So then another thing that you can make is a report. So I selected study guide. They have a bunch of different ones. You can create your own, a brief document, a blog post, so cool, and then a study guide. So I made a study guide, and in the study guide, which again, I'll show you in a second, it has so many cool features. You can also make a data table, so it explains the term, the translation, the category, and it makes the categories for you, which is really nice if you want to put it like in your notes or like write it down. So then for the study guide / the report, it gives you a short quiz, it gives you an answer, and then even more questions. So cool. Then another feature is it makes a mind map for you, and then you can hit the arrows. Either you can click the topic and it'll give you a summary in the chat, or you can click each one of the arrows and it'll give you like the answers for things. So like farewells, and like in Spanish, like what are farewells for Spanish? So depending on what type of learner you are, they have so many different types of like things. I'm the type of person where I like practice quizzes because I feel like testing myself and like getting used to the test formatting is really nice, and having flashcards is really cool. If you like mind maps, look how cool this is. You can just like expand and keep expanding. And it tells you like the different subjects. You can make it full screen, which is super cool. Again, you can have it like explained it further in the chat, which at the end of the day is actually helping understanding and not just giving you the answers. Because if you're actually trying to absorb the information, this is the best way to do it. And it gives you so many different ways for all the different types of learners. So another good thing to keep in mind is like, instead of going to all these different sites, you have it all in one. So another thing that I tested out, which was the two like audio versions. You have a podcast and a video. So here's kind of how the audio for the podcast sounds.
Imagine you're standing in a beautiful park in Madrid. Right?
Okay, setting the scene. I like it.
Yeah, so the sun's shining, you're feeling confident, and you decide to practice your newly acquired Spanish with some local parents watching their toddlers.
Oh, a bold move.
So as you can hear, it actually sounds like a podcast. They started off by setting the scene and kind of explaining the importance of Spanish grammar and like the differences of like, if you pronounce one thing wrong, it sounds weird in the different contexts. That is so crazy important too. And I was so impressed. And you can put it in like 2x speed if you want to. You can slow it down. So I think that was a great source. The one thing to keep in mind is with audios, with the video and the podcast audio type of thing, they do take a lot longer to process versus the rest of them, which is like mind maps and tables, but they're actually so cool. Like I was so impressed with them, just because like I've never thought about like making a podcast for studying or making a like having a video. So I'm also going to show you like what the video looked like. The video did in fact take forever, but it is important to like have in case that's how you learn. So here's how the video in fact sounds and looks.
Have you ever wanted to connect with someone from a totally different culture but felt, completely paralyzed by the language barrier? Well, you are in the right place.
So this one talks about like language and like Spanish conversations. You can make it full screen. It kind of just is like a presentation format. So like they take everything from your sources again, and they make it into a presentation, which is so cool. And it actually seems like a professor is like teaching you these things. I think these both, I was super impressed with. Like it like blew my mind. I was like, oh my goodness, this is an amazing feature. Because again, if you were an auditory person or even a visual person, these are going to be amazing for you. And look, you can make different notebooks for each of them. I made one just for Spanish culture, which is a big part of the praxis test, which is a teacher certification test. And then I like generated stuff for that. So I like made, I think a report, a flashcard, and a quiz. Those are probably my top 3 features: the flashcards, the quiz, and the data table actually, because it shows you like all of everything. It kind of like shows you all of the data and then like categorizes it for you. It's kind of like if you were to make your own table in your notes. So I think that's so cool. I love these. I also love the flashcards because again, as I mentioned earlier, instead of like making a bunch, like using a bunch of different websites and everything like Quizlet, or any other like search like study engine that you use, you can have it all in one. Now, again, I know there's like a lot of controversy with AI and things like that, and you know, it is a little bit concerning, the use of AI, but I did feel like this is a good study tool to use, because it just has so much. And I feel like a lot of people who are okay with using AI and like want to use it are missing out with this, because I hadn't heard of it until I literally like went to a work meeting and they were talking about Notebook LM, and it's just so cool, the amount of features it has. So to sum everything up, Google Notebook LM, or Notebook LM as some people like shorten it, is Studying Angel approved. I personally love this. I think this is an amazing tool I'm going to be using all summer. When I'm going back to school, I'm going to be using it. The one thing that I think is very important is it's not finding information from just off the internet. So it is reliable information if your sources are reliable. So I think this is a great study tool. I think this is going to be very helpful. You can make so many different notebooks for each one of your classes, and I just think it's going to be the perfect study essential for everyone going back to school and using it for their summer curriculum. So please let me know what you think of Notebook LM down below. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. And also hit the bell so you stay tuned for all my videos. And stay tuned until next Sunday's video, because I promise you guys it will be an amazing one. Bye, angels.